New developments. Police have arrested two men they say murdered an off-duty New Orleans police officer, and they tell us those men were known to stalk victims in the Galleria area.
Both of them were out on bond, one of them for allegedly following someone home and robbing them. Jason Miles is live from the Harris County Jail, where prosecutors hope to keep both suspects behind bars this time. Jason.
That's right, guys. One of these suspects scheduled to make his first appearance on these new charges later this evening. Prosecutors do plan to argue that no bonds be granted related to these new charges, which include capital murder. Less than a week after off-duty New Orleans police detective Everett Briscoe was shot and killed on the Grotto restaurant patio, and his friend left critically wounded.
We are announcing the arrest of two individuals.
19-year-old Frederick Jackson and 21-year-old Anthony Jenkins are in jail in connection with the crime.
These suspects are charged with capital murder and attempted capital murder.
Mayor Sylvester Turner and others provided details today of the apparent motive.
We have no evidence to indicate it was anything other than a robbery gone bad.
Lieutenant John McGowan heads up the squad investigating the case and says these two suspects routinely targeted people in popular shopping and dining areas.
We have them in the area on surveillance video doing robberies and engaging in activities that would be indicative of stalking people to do robberies.
Officials say Jackson was already out on bond for, among other things, the aggravated robbery of someone he followed home from the Galleria. Prosecutors say he ditched his last court appearance after cutting off his ankle monitor, while Jenkins was out on bond for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
I think today is a moment that we should be proud of because you have caught the offenders. There is a third suspect who is a person of interest. No further information will be disclosed about that person at this time.
Detective Briscoe will be laid to rest tomorrow in New Orleans, a place from which he came to Houston for what was supposed to have been a fun getaway with friends.
You know what the message should be to these violent crooks out here, okay? And that evening, I said it and I meant it. The message is to them. You think you're gonna just keep victimizing people in our city? It's not gonna happen.
And HPD Chief Troy Finner plans to attend Detective Briscoe's funeral tomorrow in New Orleans. He says he spoke with both Briscoe's widow and the wife of the friend who remains hospitalized tonight, letting them know personally of these two arrests. Len?
So very tragic, but great work on the part of detectives. Thank you, Jason. And right now, friends, family, and colleagues are gathering for Detective Everett Briscoe's viewing. You're taking a look at it. It's happening at the Mahalia Jackson Theater in New Orleans. A funeral will be held tomorrow morning. Briscoe leaves behind a wife and two sons. Our team coverage continues with Sherman Chow, who's been talking to the slain detectives' friends and family members, including Detective Briscoe's widow today. Sherman, how is she doing?
You know, we spoke just briefly, but she is remarkably gracious. I'll tell you what, we talked just for a couple of minutes. Her voice did break during that conversation. She told us she was on her way to that visitation, which is going on right now. She was aware of the arrests, but she had their sons with her, and she asked to speak to us after the visitation. In the meantime, take a look at this. This is their high school prom picture from McDonough High, the couple high school sweethearts. We also spoke about the arrest today with longtime family friends. They were also high school classmates. We also talked to them about the suspects who were already out on bond for serious crimes.
That's going on down here too in New Orleans. I'm not just gonna blame Houston. We got the same thing going on. So, you know, they need to get a hold of these judges that's letting these dudes out, you know.
I just want them to, you know, just do time or justice is served. Just feel our pain.
Detectives say that the gunmen were targeting victims for high-end jewelry. Calvin Harry, who was on that trip, said that the wounded victim, Darren Ricolfi, was wearing a heavy gold chain and a Rolex that Briscoe, age 41, wore nothing particularly flashy. I should say, too, that these friends want to give a shout out to HPD Chief Troy Finner. You know, Calvin Harry said that he didn't doubt there would be an arrest because he heard, quote, the anger in Chief Finner's voice, and you don't hear chiefs talk like that. So he wasn't surprised that there was an arrest, just that it happened so quickly. Len?
Yeah, boggles the mind. A police detective, 13 years on the job, dies sitting on the patio of a restaurant on a leisurely trip. Unreal. Sherman Min, thank you. We'll continue to follow this story on the air and on KHOU.com.